Today, we're going to open up what we're calling the Modern Teacher's Tech Toolkit. We'll explore how the right technology can help educators meet the really diverse needs of every single student in their classroom.
Let's just start with the biggest question out there. It's the ultimate challenge for any teacher, right? You've got a room full of students, and every one of them is at a different starting point, with a different learning style, a different pace. How on earth do you cater to all of them at once? It can feel absolutely impossible.
But it's not impossible. And the key is to stop thinking about technology as just one thing and start seeing it as a versatile, powerful toolkit. Just like a carpenter has specific tools for specific jobs, a teacher can pull out the right piece of tech to tackle a specific learning challenge.
So where do we start building? Well, with any project, you first have to check out the site, right? You got to assess the situation. In teaching, that means finding out what your students already bring to the table before you even start a new lesson.
This is such a critical first step. Seriously, you wouldn't build a house on a shaky foundation, and you can't build new knowledge effectively if you don't know what students are starting with. Figuring this out is basically creating the blueprint for your entire lesson.
And this is where the first set of tools comes in handy. You've got things like anticipation guides to see what students think they know about a topic, or KWL charts to map out what they already know, what they want to know, and later what they've learned. Simple things, digital quizzes, online discussion boards, even basic interest forms. All of these are fantastic tools for getting a read on that starting point for every single learner in the room.
Okay, so once you know where your students are, the next big job is to get them involved and keep them hooked. This is all about engagement, and your tech toolkit has some seriously cool tools for this part. Now let's be clear about what we mean by engagement. It's not just about keeping kids entertained or having fun. The real key here is active learning. True engagement means students are actually participating. They're doing something, thinking about something, creating something, and it's all laser-focused on that learning goal.
So what does this look like in practice? Well, think about interactive videos that pause and ask students questions while they watch, or digital collaboration spaces like a shared online whiteboard where the whole class can brainstorm ideas together in real time. And of course, digital creation tools that let students make their own podcasts or videos or infographics to show what they've learned. These kinds of tools transform students from being just spectators into being active participants in their own learning.
And this slide right here perfectly illustrates that crucial difference. Over on the left, you've got passive consumption, just mindlessly scrolling or watching a video without really thinking. But on the right, that's where the magic happens, active consumption. That's where students are cognitively switched on, thinking critically and physically interacting with the material. The whole goal of the Tech Toolkit is to constantly push learning from that left column over to the right.
All right, we've assessed where they are, and we've gotten them engaged. Now for the third and maybe the most powerful function of our toolkit, providing really specific, tailored support right where it's needed most.
The term academic learning needs can sound a little intimidating, but the concept is actually pretty simple. It's just the gap. It's the space between what a student knows right now and what they need to know to be able to complete a task successfully. Our job as educators is to build a bridge across that gap for every single student. And believe me, the toolkit has some incredible bridge-building materials. We're talking about things like screen readers for students with visual impairments, voice recognition software, or even voice amplification devices. This is where technology becomes a true equalizer. These aren't just little add-ons. For some students, they are absolutely essential tools that level the playing field, making learning accessible to everyone. This is really where we see the principles of universal design for learning come to life.
So we have this amazing, packed toolkit. It's full of possibilities. But just having the tools isn't enough, is it? A master craftsman knows not only what each tool does, but exactly when and why to use it. The same goes for teaching.
And that's the million-dollar question. There is a seemingly endless sea of apps, websites, and new software coming out all the time. How do you make sure you're picking something that will actually make learning better and not just become another shiny distraction? Well, the answer is to use a framework. Think of these frameworks as the instruction manual that comes with your tech toolkit. They give you a structure, a set of guiding questions to help you think critically about your choices and make sure they serve a real, solid educational purpose.
So this is kind of like your cheat sheet for choosing wisely. There isn't just one right way to think about it, but here are some of the best. The SAM-R model asks if your tech is just a simple substitute for an old tool or if it's truly redefining what's possible in a lesson. The TPACK model is all about finding that sweet spot where your technology, your pedagogy, and your content knowledge all overlap. PICRAT gets you to think about what the student is doing. Are they being passive or creative with the tech? And the EEE framework is a quick gut check. Does this engage, enhance, and extend the learning? Each one gives you a really powerful lens to make sure you're choosing the right tool for the right reason.
At the end of the day, it all boils down to this. The goal is never ever about using technology just for the sake of using technology. It's about using it with a purpose, to truly enhance student outcomes and hit those specific learning targets you have for a lesson. Every tool you pull from that kit has to have a clear why behind it.
And that brings us to our final thought. As technology keeps changing and evolving, so will the teacher's toolkit. So the question for all of us, whether we're in the classroom now, studying to be a teacher, or just interested in learning, is this: what's the next tool you'll add to your kit? And more importantly, what learning gap will you use it to bridge?